678, please.
Chair, fellow speakers, we're on contested ground, and it's unbelievable we're still on contested ground after all these years. So you've got the great orange one saying, talking about the climate hoax, the great climate hoax, and you've got the scientific community and most of society saying, hang on, something's happening here. So I'm going to talk to you about why we're still in that contested space after all these years, and then I'm going on to talk about what we do about climate change in terms of adapting to a warming planet, and also how we go about arresting, slowing down, or even halting the warming of the planet. Then I'm going to conclude by giving my view on the future of humankind as the planet continues to warm. So that's what I'll talk to you about today. So you got the great orange one, and you got actually a large cohort of society saying, climate change is a hoax. It's almost a repeat of history in terms of the cigarette industry of the 50s, 60s, 70s. So you had big corporates paying a scientist to come out and say, no, cigarettes are not bad for you, they're actually good for you. And that did happen with climate change. 10 years ago, scientists have been rolled out by public paid for by the big oil companies to say climate change is not happening. It's the weather, blah blah blah. But as the evidence mounted, so the cigarette smoking, it became obvious that smoking was harming and killing people. The industry changed its tune and said, actually, it's your human right to be able to smoke. Cool people smoke, Marlboro Man, blah blah blah. So just a change in focus and a change in messaging, and you're seeing that with the climate change as well, where some feeders talk about China's building a power station, burning power station every week. So what's the point? And anyway, a warming climate's not so bad, is it? So you are getting a change in the messaging, just in the similar way as you were getting a change in the messaging over time with the cigarette industry. So that's why we're still on the contested ground. But there's lots of money going into lots of messaging and lots of politics. There's money to be made in contesting climate change, basically. So that's the context. What climate change is happening. So what do we do about it? So there's two things. There's climate adaptation, and there's decarbonisation of the society. So we're burning less fossil fuels, basically. So in terms of climate adaptation, so the climate does warm and cool over the millennia. So we're not long at the ice age, but so we can adapt. But that was a warming of the climate over thousands and thousands of years. So wildlife could adapt. How will it be? So the herds could migrate. Humankind could migrate to more temperate climates. We can't really do that now. So the climate is warming so quickly that flora and fauna just cannot adapt, and species are dying out all the time. In terms of humankind, we've got borders. Migration is really difficult. So it's really for society, in global terms, for society to adapt. It's much more challenging now because of the speed of climate change and because of the way global society is structured. But there is adaptation that can be done, and in this country we're not very good at it. we always we all in UK we just muddle through, don't we? So in almost into the 80s, we were still the building regs still allows single glazing windows in our homes. And we've had a big fight recently with the housing industry about changes to the building regs that would almost outlaw gas boilers. Why would we want to build houses with gas boilers anymore? But the housing industry wants to do that. So we're dragging our feet on that. So but adapting we are slowly, much more slowly than we should. But we are gradually adapting. In terms of taking the decarbonisation of society and the economy, again, it's slow, very slow, and it's not just UK, but it's what the world does. We just muddle through, and we're just so slow to respond. So that the climate will continue to warm over the next decades, and that warming will increase. But and people will suffer. Populations will. There'll be unnecessary deaths at scale. Society will be a much more challenging place to be in the years ahead. But necessity is the mother of invention. As we realise that we cannot model, we need to take this seriously. Society will begin to adapt. It'll be quite late in the day. Unnecessary suffering will have happened, but we will adapt in the end. That's what we do as humankind. Necessity, the mother of invention. So we will. I think humanity will survive. We will be worse off for it, but that's the nature of the beast. We're stubborn. We don't. We're not good at future thinking. We live in the present, but we will come through this, and that's my take on climate change. So it's contested space because people want it to be. Powerful people want it to be contested space. We are adapting. We can do it much faster. We can and we are decarbonising the economy, but we could do it much faster. But we'll get there in the end.